Hare Krishna. Jaya Jaya Shri Caitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Advaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Jaya Jaya Shri Caitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Advaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Jaya Jaya Shri Caitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Advaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. We continue reading from Chaitanya Charitamrita Adi-Lila, chapter 7. We have been hearing the glories of the Panchatattva, text 28. Yata yata prema vrishti kare panchajane, tata tata bade jala vyape tribhuvane. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. The more the 5 members of the Panchatattva cause the rains of love of Godhead to fall, the more the inundation increases and spreads all over the world. The Krishna consciousness movement is not stereotyped or stagnant. It will spread all over the world in spite of all objections by fools and rascals that European and American malechas cannot be accepted as brahmanas or sannyasis. Here it is indicated that this process will spread and inundate the entire world with Krishna consciousness. So it is the prediction of Lord Chaitanya that love of Godhead will be spread all over the world, that the holy name of Krishna will be spread all over the world. And so who are we to object against it or to stop it? We should in fact participate in it. Participate in this great mission of Lord Chaitanya. Be an instrument in the hands of Lord Chaitanya. Mayavadi karma nishta kutar kikagana ninda kapasandiyata paduya adama se saba mahadaksha dhana palaila se vanyata sabare chunite narila. The impersonalists, further workers, false logicians, blasphemers, non-devotees, and lowest among the student community are very expert in avoiding the Krishna consciousness movement. And therefore, the inundation of Krishna consciousness cannot touch them. Like Mayavadi philosophers in the past, such as Prakashananda Saraswati of Benares, modern impersonalists are not interested in Lord Chaitanya's Krishna consciousness movement. They do not know the value of this material world. They consider it false and cannot understand how the Krishna consciousness movement can utilize it. They are so absorbed in impersonal thought that they take it for granted that all spiritual variety is material. Because they do not know anything beyond their misconception of the Brahmajyoti, they cannot understand that Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, is spiritual and therefore beyond the conception of material illusion. Whenever Krishna incarnates personally or as a devotee, these Mayavadi philosophers accept him as an ordinary human being. And this is condemned in the Bhagavad Gita. So we should not try to put God in our box. Our material mind is very limited. Our experience is limited. Our knowledge is very limited. And if we think that God should fit inside this box of my experience, then we are putting our limits on God. Then we are not wanting to understand the truth. We are wanting to say the truth should be what I think is true. And then it could be very, very far away from the truth. Very far away. So God has to be understood by hearing about God from God himself or his bona fide representative. But if we are arrogant and proud, that no, I will not hear about God from God, but I will think that God should be like this, then the only people we are cheating is ourselves. And Krishna calls us foolish. If we do that, or if we continue to do that, Krishna calls us foolish. He's saying, I'm coming in this material world. I am saying I'm God, and you're thinking I'm not God. You think I'm an ordinary human being just like you. Then you're being foolish. So we should rise above this. We should rise above this and not be so attached to our false ego that no, because I'm saying this or I'm thinking it, it should be right. And then if we consider that, no, everything is false. Everything is false. Only what I'm thinking is right. Now, how can it be? How can it be? How can all the great devotees who have done so much devotion over the ages, they're all wrong? How come God, he's speaking in different times, he's coming and giving us so many different scriptures, he's wrong and only I'm right? How can that be? There's something wrong there then. So we need to hear about God from the authorized representatives to get to understand the fact, to understand the truth.
Yeah,
Bhagavad
because
Gita
I
9 gives.
remember you also said that because our senses are faulty.
Yes.
So how can we believe our own senses? Like if I have a telescope and if I can see the stars far away and I claim that I can see them very nicely. So then why can't I take that same telescope and see the inside of my neighbor's house? Can I do that? No. I cannot see that what that paneer sabji that neighbor is eating. No, the telescope won't be able to tell me. So then how can telescope tell me that where are all the planets properly situated? Because I have limitation of my eyes also. There was this very, very lovely lecture yesterday. It was Bhakti Tree. And he explained it in a slideshow. So it was very, very understandable. All the 4 faults that we have. जो हमारी कमियां हैं, 4 त्रुटियां जो है इंसान में. There was a class on this and he explained it so nicely about this, that we rely on our own eyes, but our own eyes are only faulty. They have a limit to see. They can't see beyond a range. Our ears are also faulty. They can't hear beyond a range. They can't. It's useless. Even if you're making that sound, we can't hear. So you're right.
Yes.
Like, as you said, that how can we trust when we are at fault? So we need to trust the Vedas, the Vedic scriptures, injunctions.
Yes, it's true. Thank you. Yes, that we are and we are also in illusion. We are illusion, you know. We have the imperfect senses and we are in illusion also. We are thinking we are the body, right? We are thinking I'm the controller, I'm the enjoyer, I'm the proprietor. So we are coming from this consciousness. So how come whatever I'm thinking is going to be the truth then? Because my consciousness is wrong itself. So whatever I'm thinking is going to be wrong. It's not going to be true then. It's not going to be the fact. Yeah? And then our desire to cheat. We have this propensity to cheat, right? And mistake. None of us can say, I never committed a mistake. None of us. And then we'll say to err is human. So based on that, yes, thank you for bringing up, sharing this important point.
Yeah. And then he like, it was very nicely explained that yes, when we cheat, then we get scared. To hide it, we keep on lying because that is our propensity. Because when we make mistakes and to cover our mistakes, it is natural that we start lying. Oh, nahi, maine to nahi kiya aisa. Oh, nahi, aise nahi hai. So that is what we are doing according to our nature. It's no one's fault.
Yeah. Yes. So Krishna is saying, Avajananti mamudha manushim tanum ashritam param bhavam ajananto mama bhuta maheshwaram. Fools deride me when I descend in the human form. They do not know my transcendental nature as the Supreme Lord of all that be. He's saying that I'm telling you I'm God. I'm telling you I'm transcendental. I'm not material. My form is transcendental. Now, if you are not able to understand it, then you're foolish. If you think I'm an ordinary material human being, my body is material, then you are foolish. He's saying it openly in the Bhagavad Gita. The Supreme Lord of all that be. He's saying, I'm God. He's saying, I'm God. There's no one more higher than me. No one is equal to me, and no one is more superior than me. I am the Supreme. There are also other unscrupulous persons who exploit the Lord's appearance by posing as incarnations to cheat the innocent public. An incarnation of God should pass the tests of the statements of the Shastras and also perform uncommon activities. One should not accept a rascal as an incarnation of God, but should test his ability to act as the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So, we are very expert. We are saying, okay, Krishna is saying he's God and people are believing him. Let me also say I'm God and people will believe me also. So we are very expert in that. As Neha rightly said, no, we have the cheating propensity. So this is our main cheating propensity. We want to make everyone think we are God. And some will even publicly say, yes, I am God. But God is not so cheap. God has to be, we have to test. Is this person really saying the truth? A test has to be there. Is this person saying the truth? For example, Krishna taught Arjuna in the Bhagavad Gita, and Arjuna also accepted him as a Supreme Personality of Godhead. But for our understanding, Arjuna requested the Lord to manifest his universal form, thus testing whether he was actually the Supreme Lord. So Arjuna asked Krishna, because Krishna told him, I'm pervading everywhere, everything is in me, everything belongs to me. So then Arjuna said, can you please show me your universal form? And Krishna showed him the universal form, not in a private room, not that no one else was there. No, publicly, openly. Whoever had the eyes could see it. Even Sanjay could see it. That's how he was narrating this incident to Dhritarashtra. So if someone claims that they are God, then we should ask them, my dear sir, with due respect, if you are God, can you please show me your universal form? Similarly, one must test a so-called incarnation of Godhead according to the standard criteria. To avoid being misled by an exhibition of mystic powers, it is best to examine a so-called incarnation of God in the light of the statements of the Shastras. So whenever God has to incarnate, it's all mentioned in the Shastras. It's not that God will say, come, suddenly he will come and nobody knows about him. No, no, no. It's all mentioned in the Shastras. When he's going to come, where he's going to come, who his parents are going to be, what his activities are going to be, how he's going to look like. It's mentioned in the revealed scriptures, the scriptures which are eternal. Yeah, not that somebody has written the scripture or some person at one point of time wrote this scripture. No, and we may say Vyasadeva. Vyasadeva is the incarnation of the Lord to compile the scriptures, to compile it. So if the scripture is not coming from Vyasadeva, we need to question it. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is described in the Shastras as an incarnation of Krishna. Therefore, if one wants to imitate Lord Chaitanya and claim to be an incarnation, he must show evidence from the Shastras about his appearance to substantiate his claim. Because many people claim that I'm an incarnation of Lord Chaitanya. Lord Chaitanya is Krishna. And someone will say, I am an incarnation of Lord Chaitanya. Means what? I am God. Okay, then my dear sir, please tell me which evidence, where is it mentioned which Shastra it's mentioned that you are the incarnation? Kindly explain to us. All this should be there. And also, please show us the universal form. Please show us the universal form. So all these tests are there so that our faith does not get, so that we don't get cheated by the, what do we say? By the unscrupulous people. Unscrupulous people. Is that all right? And if someone shows some specific powers, it doesn't mean they become God. exhibition of mystic powers. It doesn't mean God is not just a yogi with some kind of a mystic siddhi, you know. God is God. So we have to understand how great God is so that we do not get misled by others. That's why it's so important to keep hearing from Bhagavatam and Bhagavad Gita. Did you want to comment anything else?
No. It's perfect. Yeah.
Thank you so much for listening and enjoying in Shri Chaitanya Charitamrita ki jai, Shilpa Prabhupada ki jai, Gaur Bhakta Vrinda ki jai. Hare Krishna.